Hello from the Multipliers Club, with a little bit of a different one this week, with our boy Joe Todd living it large in Thailand and the rest of us making moves. We took the day off to head down to Brighton and meet up with the main man, the Sicilian Soprano, that is Alex Moisii. From pyromaniac to property entrepreneur, moving seven-figure homes on a regular basis, let's get an insight in an unfiltered, no-holes-barred podcast.
Glasses or alcohol. Personally, I'll have a lot of herbs, but that's just me.
Let's dive right into the action.
Because they're corporate, that probably doesn't help. They can't do stuff. They can't do stuff. Yeah.
Stuck in that ways, isn't it?
Anymore. They don't even know what Instagram is. It's like, you know, when your nan goes on Instagram. I was speaking to my nan. She's got WhatsApp, and I was like, Nan, I'm sending you a video on WhatsApp. She's like, oh, I don't know how to watch that. Just show me when you see me. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So it's like that's who works. That's who the managers are in these offices. The managers are your fucking grandma and granddad, and that's not bad. It just means that their time is over. Yeah. This is a cycle, right? We're in a time of crisis now. We're going to go into a time of high in like 5 years or whatever, but it's the end of a cycle, meaning that new generations coming up. Things are changing. In regards to real estate, we're probably like 20, 30 years behind America and fucking Australia. There's no such thing as a high street agency there.
Really?
Because there's no need for it.
Is it dead here now?
It's dying out. I predicted 2 months ago, and I'll show you this because I'm not fucking playing with you. 2 months ago, I've seen how the market was going, and you know what? I mean, who is Alex Moisii to listen to him? Why wouldn't I listen to someone from the bigger agencies, blah, blah. But I understand things. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not an estate agent. I don't have to take my advice from a boss. You know, I have to take my advice from what I read, what I'm seeing, how things are going. So 2 months ago, I posted, I posted on LinkedIn. I believe that a lot of giant estate agencies will crumble by this time next year. Too many unnecessary outgoings. Come on, how do I stop this, man? Too many unnecessary outgoings, terrible agents, and a difficult market is a recipe for disaster. Flipping thing. Report recently came out. So a report came out about a giant agency. Or I don't really want to say their name. They're not paying me for it. Basically, my partner used to work there in Knightsbridge at one of their offices. And this quarter last year, the same quarter last year, they made 393 million in revenue, which is fucking brilliant. That's across the world because they've got offices all over the world.
Global, yeah.
Right, global. This quarter this year, they've made 3 million in revenue. That's nearly 93% discrepancy. They still have all those outgoings, right? So what that told me straight away, I'm like, fuck. Well, if this carries on like this, I was like, there's no need for high street estate agencies. Self-employed agents like myself are taking business now, and this model is becoming more and more and more popular. All right, it's not for everyone. You're probably going to get one, two, 5 good self-employed agents from every model that actually do the work if they have the right support. So what that means is that with these guys taking business from them as well, with the high overheads that are happening in the difficult market, there's no place for high street agencies anymore. It's slowly dying out. 1 second, I'm not done. So that's the post that I put 2 months ago, right? So on a week ago, after 2 months after I put that a week ago, this article comes out. Knight Frank has entered the redundancy consultation process with staff and is making 100 agents redundant.
Shit, that's huge as well.
This is a week ago, so I made the post. I was like, fucking called it, right? I said this time next year. Things are moving a lot quicker than I anticipated. Last night, about 11 o'clock, Chesterton's, the oldest estate agent in the fucking UK, has just sold. Guys, I'm getting goosebumps because I'm like, you know what, I was fucking right. Everyone laughed and everyone's like, oh, the high street estate agencies. No, it's dying. They're slowly dying out. And with this model getting out there more and more and more, it's not just that it's better like this, but you need to look at it from a client's perspective. You're with fucking Knight Frank, right? You've just trusted them with your most prized asset, but they're getting rid of the agent that's looking after your property. Where's the credibility in that? How do you still have trust in such a big agent that can't maintain their business that they have to get rid of people? What does that leave you as a client? So you see the picture's bigger. And bear in mind, I'm going to fucking say on live, I looked at Savills, I looked at Knight Frank, the shareholders in the companies are fucking BlackRock and Vanguard.
And they own everything.
They're never like this company. But what I'm saying is, even those big dogs, they're not going to have shareholders in something that isn't working anymore. So they will have to probably, like, I don't know, they'll probably move. They're still going to be there, you know. But what I'm saying is a lot, like the names, they're not going to go. But a lot of people are going to be affected within the process, you know. These are huge fucking companies. So I'm not using them as an example, but they are being fucking hit as well, clearly.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and if those big agencies are being hit, then what happens to these other smaller ones in the UK?
So let's say, for example, one of Knight Frank's branches, they make everybody in there redundant. They've got all that stock. How does somebody like you, as a sole trader or self-employed, how would you take on that amount of stock?
Fucking we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
You know, I've been taught in business is like never say no to business. Take it and then learn how to
100%,
deal
agree.
with it, you know. I suppose, for example, we've done a job application the other day because we started recruiting. We've established a platform for Crest now that can sustain other agents. And we've had 127 agents. And my partner looked at me, he's like, fucking hell, whoa, what happens if like 67 of them want to join? I'm like, fucking fantastic. I was like, we'll just invest more. I was like, well, we'll get more. We'll get more admin. We'll get more fucking whatever they need to keep pushing this up. Do you know what I mean? So that's in my head. I'm like, cool, growth. Let's go. Let's deal with problems. That's the beauty of entrepreneurship, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, shit. I'm like, growth. Whoa, I'm scared of that. We're not going to be scared of growth, are we? Yeah. I'm going to be scared if I made the fucking application, I got one applicant. That would scare the shit out of me. I'd be like, fuck. Back to the drawing board.
When I was researching you, I saw that on your story that you were doing a huge recruitment drive. So if you don't mind me asking, what's going to be your model with the recruitment drive? Are they going to be on a big commission only, or is it going to be a salary with a small commission?
So, you know, it's commission only. You know, I think, let's talk about the reason why I got into sales. The reason I got into sales, I think the reason why everyone is in sales, the reason you guys are in sales, the reason is probably one of the best life skills to have anyways, is because of the commission, right? It's the only reason I was working in sales. Maybe it's because I didn't fucking enjoy anything else anyway, or I didn't know how to do anything else. But I was there for the uncapped commission, right? However, I think even the incentive of having you in the office for £3,000 a month to be the 9 to 5, then to get taxed ridiculously and have that uncapped commission, it's still a bit, I would say, not unfair. I think it's still a bit dull, you know, because you still have to be in work, you still have to be there those 9 hours, you know. So I think what we're doing is the exact same model as America and Australia. Self-employed, what we are able to do now, we can franchise you without the high overheads, which is fucking brilliant. Because you don't need to worry about your office, you know. We've got a legal team that covers your public liability. We've got admin that covers your back office work. We've got access to unlimited Rightmove and Zoopla. You got access to unlimited fucking to our own network. You can market properties anywhere in the world. You know, you can market properties from Bali, for example, where we've launched to the UK market. So we're actually allowing you, we created a platform for you where you can franchise yourself, basically with your face and your name, rather than an office in my name. Because then I take it away from you. So let's talk about how important personal brand is, because most people forget that. If I didn't build a strong personal brand when I left my previous brokerage, where I had to leave all the business with them due to a non-compete agreement, I would have been fucking dead. I would have had to start all over again. But because I had a strong personal brand, I was able to make a transition very easily into what I was going to do next. Do you get what I mean? So this is the support we're going to offer anyone that franchises with us. But again, without the high overheads, you know. So I don't know.
I think it's I was just going to say, I think it's a great idea, because all of the biggest billers I've ever met, they're commission only. And I think when you're only giving people commission only deals, you're filtering out the people that are just there for a paycheck. You're finding top 1% performers, right?
Absolutely. I don't want to work with someone that's asking me what's my wage. Mate, fuck off, man. I've sold my restaurant to get into real estate. You know, I've sold that. I've sold all my shares in it. And then for 3-4 months, and I didn't have the support. I didn't know what I know now. I spent money on training with the best agents in the world. I spent fucking time listening to these guys' bullshit just to kind of sit there and think, what the fuck is it that this guy's doing that I'm not doing? Because I don't get it. And I came down to the conclusion that the only reason these guys are better than me is because they've done this for a longer time. So I'm like, let's take the same amount of time, because what I've done in 3 years in comparison to what these guys have done in 15, 20 years is minuscule. Because I've just captured something, I've had the vision, then I figured out what needs to be done next and how it's going to be done next. So that means I can teach it to other people now. So it comes down, look, there's a lot of self-employed models out there, but they lack support. You know, I can name a few, but I don't want to sit here and make other agencies look bad to make myself look good. Mm-hmm. But I know that everyone, and trust me when I say, I've had some applicants from some very big agencies applying, which left me overwhelmed, because I'm thinking, fucking hell, like, it's working. You know, when something works like that.
They want to come work with you because of your brand.
Yeah,
right?
but then you think, fucking hell, like, I was looking at my partner, I'm like, we've built something that means something now. It's bigger than us, it's bigger than that, and it's bigger than my personal brand now, and that means a lot. But I think a large part of it, and just to hear, look, I'm going to be honest with you, I fucking want power, I want respect. And just to kind of hear some of the agents that I work with now, taking in what I've taught them and applying it, and it works for them, then they've returned that by saying, mate, everything you've told me has fucking worked. You know, I'm working with a Polish guy, Marcin, and bro, it's so admirable. Like, it's out every day. His English is not the best, but he's out every day. And he's done door knocks, he's met up with people, you know. Then I've listened to, obviously, the way he talks and everything. There was just little tweaks. I was like, right. I was like, you're doing the right thing. You put the effort in, which is step one. Step one's done. I was like, let's hear what you say and how you say it. Then I kind of listened to his tone of voice, and I was like, your tone of voice, you're a bit monotone. You sound like that guy from fucking Rocky 2. You know the Russian guy. If you die, you die. You know, you're someone's door. I was like, just met up with this random Russian man at their door on a fucking Tuesday evening. You don't know how to take it. So I was like, let's tweak a few things. You know, you're too monotone. Smile a bit. You know, don't have some confidence in yourself. Don't be nervous. It's fine. And then obviously he took that on board. He booked some meetings. We've got like 3 meetings with him on Friday. This is in 2 weeks. He's never had any experience in real estate other than a desire, an ambition, and a bit of support.
Amazing. And just on that, right, it's really rewarding. We've seen it with some of our staff. Watching them grow from your training, a really satisfying feeling. But talking about the earning potentials of a commission-only real estate agent, could you just talk us through that a little bit? Where can this take you?
I mean, look, man, I think when I joined the first brokerage, they're like, oh, you can earn like 80 grand a year. And I was like, fuck that. Like, how much can I earn, really, you know? And it was like, well, it depends. If you're good, you can obviously, it's unlimited. And my first year of real estate, I've exchanged on 270 grand with no experience, no support, all right, other than just listening to bullshit and crap. So I had to figure this shit out myself. And that's £135,000 in commission. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit and tell you, oh my God, I fucking partied a lot that year, like constantly. I think if I add up what I partied in regards to what I've worked, it's probably like 70% party and 30% work, and I still hit that. So the second year, which was last year, I was like, hold on a minute, let's do 60% work and 40% party. Let's balance it out a bit.
Yeah.
So by doing that, I've achieved 570,000 in exchanges, right? Nearly over double, which is quite just over double.
Is that year 2?
That's year 2. So in total, just alone in total, so what's that? 270, 570, that's what's that? 840. 840, 940, whatever. And that was that. Then, so add all that up. Then obviously in March this year, we've launched Crest. And we've sold over £25 million worth of property at 2.5% plus VAT, right? And yeah, that's over nearly £1.3 million, £1.4 million in 3 years in real estate. And my team has just been basically put together like a month ago, right? So everything that I've done up until this point has been off my own back with my partner Zara in the last 7 months. So it is real. It's not something that you just make up, you know? And don't get me wrong, because when I look back at what I've done with the money, I've wasted a lot of it.
What would you say is the most like ridiculous thing you've done?
Cocaine. It's like, no, I'm joking, but look, no, it's I think, look, all jokes aside, I went through a stage where, again, it's because you fucking hang around with the wrong people.
There's a big sales culture. We talked about this before. Obviously, there's a big culture with that, with the sales, with the ego comes the partying and the
But it's not, you know what it
alcohol.
is? It's the people you hang around with, the people you learn, the people that actually you end up being weirdly, not even inspired, because it's not inspiration, it's called influenced, right? Don't confuse inspiration with influence. It's two completely different things. You get influenced to wear stupid fucking clothes, right? Dressing, I'm a 34-year-old man dressing in Palm Angels and shit. Like, fuck is that about, mate? Honestly. Get a grip, grow the fuck up, right? And Versace and fucking Fendi and all that. And like, I sat there and I was like, I'm never going to wear this. Like, I'm looking at them and I'm like, £400 t-shirt. And I'm like, what a fucking moron. And now I'm literally, if you see me now, I'm like, I've got this new website called Taylor Athletes or whatever. And they're like, muscle fit t-shirts, sweet. 10 white, 10 black, 5 red, 5 green. And that's it. And you look more presentable. You're not spending money on, I've got 4 kids. Do you know what I mean? Let them wear fucking Palm Angels or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like...
You don't need it.
It's like a man is always going to look better with class, you know? A nice watch, a nice pair of shoes, a nice T-shirt, a nice suit, you know, and that's what you need.
I completely agree. You know, I heard from somebody, I can't remember who said it, but the best fashion style for a man is a man being in shape. Because if you're wearing a muscle fit t-shirt for £6 and you're in shape, you're going to look better than the guy in the Versace t-shirt who's out of shape.
Look at it. It does come down to that. And it's literally, you can put anything on and you will look 100 times better. Or you can have a £100,000 fucking fit with random clothes, but if you're not in shape, it just feels bad. But I fucking love that. That's a good one.
Yeah, 100%. Soundbite right there, you know.
Soundbite. Talking in soundbites on purpose.
You got to try and get that content, man.
That is good.
Earlier you mentioned that you built up a really good network, right? So we're called the Multipliers podcast, right? Because we're all about networking, you know, compounding, all that. So like, what did you do to actually build up that network?
Deliver the results. When you're the guy, right? Whether you're the guy with the best cocaine, whether you're the guy with the best fucking houses, whether you're the guy with the best cars, people want to know that guy, especially in a high net worth world, because it's not that big. Most people know each other, right? And what they want to know the guy that has all of that. And I want the power that comes with that. First I thought, you know what, it's like, I just want some money. But then you get more and more addicted to what comes with it. And I remember being in Nobu once, and there was no tables. And fucking Drake walks in. You can barely see him. And they pull out, they make a fucking table out of nothing. They just make a table, they place the guy there. Then you sit there and you're like, that's what I fucking want. Like, when I park the car somewhere, I want the guy to walk out and be like, I want him to go fucking confused about what to do next. And I think that's what comes with it. And I think we all want that in a way. Drake's got it with music, right? Fucking Bill Gates got it with Microsoft. That guy's got it with Apple. I want it with property. I want to be the guy in real estate.
Do you want
not much to us, right?
Do you want to be that for worldwide? Like, is that your vision?
Yeah.
Obviously, right now, I know you're doing it in bits and pieces worldwide, but
Yes.
Big dreams. Yeah, I love that.
Yes, and it's like, when I first started, it was laughable. And I said, people still laugh now, like, who the fuck is this guy? And it's not people, it's agents. It's agents that are scared of what they've done, you know. I've seen comments about me on YouTube. Oh, the hell, I don't believe what Alex says. I've done this for 3 years and I've went the academic route, so you're telling me that everything I've done is wasted. Yes, fucking is. Go and find a new job. I don't know what to say. You know, you can't be pissed off at me. What would do if I was that guy? I'd message me and I'd be like, bro,
what are you doing?
I've wasted my time. What is it you've done differently? You know, how is it that you've managed to build a real estate company in a difficult market and make it successful? Let's talk about that. Not what, like, you pissed off at the wrong person. Go and speak to your academic teacher and ask him, what the fuck is it you've done to teach me? And it was a billionaire client I've got, managing director at Honda. I've sold this property of his in Hertfordshire, and he said to me, it's kind of the same thing. Is like, don't take advice from anyone you don't want to, anyone that doesn't inspire you. Don't take a personal trainer that is not in the shape you want to be in. Don't take property investment advice from someone that doesn't own a property and so on. You know, it's kind of like you're not going to take driving lessons from someone with no driving license. And that can just keep going on and on and on and on. And it comes down to the same thing. Why the fuck are you doing academics with a teacher that's never sold a property? Ask him, do you even own a property? Do you rent a property? Do you know what I mean? So sometimes people get pissed off. They're not pissed off at me or you. They're pissed off at themselves, but because it's easier to point fingers than take a look inwards, you do that instead. So you're just like, oh, that guy's talking shit. Because you can't handle someone doing better than you, doing the same thing that you've done for a very long time. So it brings me back to what I said before. What I've done in 3 years in this industry is making people twitch because they're like, I don't fucking get it. It's almost like, you know, like your friends. When you look back at like we probably all had friendship groups from a long time ago. Yeah. You come from the same. I grew up in a council estate in the UK, and I look at what those guys are doing, and I'm like, fucking hell, fucking nothing's changed there, you know. And in their head, they'll probably won't comprehend. They'll be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Do you get? So it's the same thing here. It's like we're all doing real estate, but then one of them stands out, and you're like, well, why the fuck is that guy standing out? But to me, it's a superiority complex. I look at someone that does this job, and I'm like, I'm better than him.
Will those people that you grew up with expect you to be like this now? Do you think they saw it?
I don't know. I don't
Style.
talk to them.
Nah,
I feel, mate, honestly, like this is so lonely sometimes. Obviously, putting my family aside, I've got 4 kids and I've got my partner. Sometimes it's like I'm walking through and I'm like, bro, this is fucking lonely. Like, I used to love ringing someone, like, you know, when you're in the car, but now my calls now are just like to people in business.
Selling them.
Yeah, and like I'm like clients and stuff, and I'm like, you just take a breath sometimes. Like, it's shit, it's lonely. You know, like I'd love to go pub with a friend and that, but I don't even know who these guys are. And even if I knew where they were, I don't even want to meet them because I'm like, I don't want to go back that way. So what that means, I'm like, I'm focusing on where I need to go. And even though that sometimes it comes in my head all the time, you know, because I'm a single child. If I had a brother, it would be fucking amazing because we'll take over together and you'll have someone there watching your back. Sometimes I'm like, who watches my back other than my partner, you know? So you just kind of have to rely on yourself. But then I remember why I'm doing everything. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going through this transition right now. It's like, they say it's like a five-year transition, really. This is exactly why I wanted you on my team, is because I know you have the ability.
It's just the start of something big for me. You know, I lost my stride for a little bit, but I'm back. I'm coming back stronger than ever.
Do you know what? Tops to you. You've done an amazing job here, and I hope that it continues to carry on, you know?
And they don't want it. They don't want it anyway. No, like, they don't want it. You're trying to get them to want it because you want them to want it. But they actually don't care. You don't want to be alone up there. Do you know what I mean? You're like, fucking hell, we're going to be up there. Like, it's going to be lonely up there, man. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to teach my kids how to do this shit, and I'm going to get them to come up here with me, you know? Because ultimately, they're the only ones that care how you feel. If you have problems, they care about your problems. My partner, my family, close family that supported what I did. Some of them didn't. I think my dad, I'll be honest, is probably my biggest hater. I'm almost certain this guy makes fucking fake accounts and comments on my shit. I'm certain.
Delve into that a little bit deeper.
Fucking hell, like, all right, what are you, a fucking...
Counsellor.
I'm interested to understand what you mean by that.
I think when my parents split up, right, he was hurt. Like, he would never admit, but he was hurt. And I think because of that, he let that hate consume him to this day. Do you get what I mean? And not up until recently, he kicked me out when I was 16. So I was a little shit, and we'll go into that in a bit as well. But when I was, when someone kicked me out when I was 16, then up until recently, and I think he just got drunk one night and he just had to go about, because there's a house, right, my grandparents' house, and my mum was saying, like, he needs to do something about it because the council, this and that, they keep trying to take land and whatever. And I was telling him, he was like, oh, because obviously when they divorced, my mum took a lot with her, and he's like, oh, you guys are trying to take everything I've got left, you try to take my parents' stuff, and I was like, bro, I was like, I don't want your shit. I was like, I'm making my own shit. My mum is actually fucking living really well, wealthy and really well, matter of fact. She doesn't want your shit. We're trying to talk to you here because this is for the grandkids now, it's for my kids and moving forward. And he was like, whoa, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't even care. I was like, just keep it, so to speak. And then he just kind of come out. He was like, you know what? Like, when we had you, we was like, me and your mum were just friends, and she just kind of got pregnant, and we had to get married. And he tried to like really dig into me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I suppose because I had the opportunity to grow as a man before that happened, I was able to handle it correctly. And I was like, look, I'm sorry you feel like that, man. I'm sorry to hear this as well. By the way, guys, I'm not crying. I've dealt with this a long time ago. And I kind of I'm glad that I dealt with it like that. And I kind of had to be like, you know what? I'm going to love you from here, from whatever, you know, and hopefully you die at peace, because I don't know what else to do, you know, because I was like, what do you want? And he's like, I just want you all to leave me alone. So I'm going to buy one of them boats and just fucking live on the boat and just die there. And I'm like, I just hope you die at peace, man. And I hope that before you die, you can die with peace and not guilt or anger or hate, because you're not going to go to heaven. You're going to go fucking somewhere else, and we're not going to see each other again. So think about that and come back around. But until then, I'm going to love you from here. It's a shame that the grandkids don't get to see their fucking granddad, because at one point I looked up to you because you were hard worker and you were a smart man. But now I'm like, I need to do everything you fucking haven't done. And I need to be a dad. And dad, he tried to attacking me again because I've got kids with 3 different women. It's like, it's what it is, you know. I can't help that I'm a good-looking guy. But no, all jokes aside, I do, but my kids are in my life on a daily basis, you know.
Sure, yeah.
I'm guiding them. And bear in mind, when I had kids, I didn't know better because he didn't fucking teach me. So I had to learn all of this shit by myself. And thankfully, I did. And now I can obviously guide them through their life moving forward and so on. So
he sees you though, right? Obviously, we are quite big on social media anyway. He can see that. He can see what you're doing. He can keep up the tabs.
Yeah, I know, but like,
keep tabs on what you're doing,
he definitely keep, because he's a smart guy. He's good with the internet as well. So I'm certain.
You know, he's on
certain
your
he knows,
page.
because I don't have haters. I don't argue with people. Like I'm me. Like I don't even speak to people to argue. Only people I speak to is my clients, probably like Tyler, Zara, obviously people that are in the business. So I don't speak to other people, like have arguments or have beef. I walk by myself. I don't need security. I walk by myself because I don't have no trouble with anyone. I can defend myself. I'm not scared. I take my kids to school by myself. I take my kids from school by myself. I walk them on the street by myself. I sit at my house with my door open, and I know that no one's going to knock at the door unless it's the postman, because I'm not scared of anyone. I've done nothing wrong to anyone. I don't owe money to anyone. So I know that if someone makes a fake account and comments on my thing, it's someone very close, and usually it is. You know, and the only thing comes back is either the guy previously, but I know he's busy, so obviously I don't know if he'll waste his time. Then I'm thinking the other person is just going to be my dad.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't have enemies, man. I live a good life, stress-free. Well, not stress-free, because there's a lot going on at once, but like, yeah.
It seems like you've dealt with that situation and it's propelled your growth, though. So I had a kind of similar thing with my dad. I haven't seen him for the past 10 years. He's been in and out of prison a couple times as well. But having that absence of a father figure teaches you how not to be a dad. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so when you have
scared.
kids...
You're scared. You're like, I was one of my biggest fears is like, what? I was like, what if I do what this guy's done?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And when he said that to me, he's like, yeah, well, what father are you? You got 3 kids with different women, 4 kids with different women. I'm like, yeah, but respectfully, mate, I see these kids all the women get on with each other. Even my mum says, I don't know how the fuck you might
manage that. Yeah,
but
done
like,
a good job.
Because you grow, you grow to the point that even someone that can't see logic, you show them logic, you know, because there's always something more important than you there, which is the kid, and it's bigger than you and you. So we brought it down to that, and thankfully, like, and it comes down to you as a man and understanding what you've done wrong. And I've apologized to every single one of them, and I said, I'm sorry that I wasn't a better man for you at the time. And this is what you have to say to everyone, because you have to take responsibility that you've done wrong ultimately. You know, you can throw the blame at the girls, blah blah, but then I look back at what it used to be like, and I'm like, I wouldn't have been with me either. You know, I would have done what she's done to me too. And then, like, literally, it's just a simple call sometimes, or a simple meeting, and just say to them, because sometimes there could be bad energy between the two that affects the kids, you know, and the kid feels it more than anyone. Because, like, if the mum doesn't want to go there, or the mum is arguing with you, the kid feels it. And I've learned very quickly that's so pointless arguing with your ex or anyone, especially if you have kids together, because it will affect everything moving forward. So a simple meeting, a simple call, and just say, look, I never told you this, all right, but I am sorry for everything I've done to you. As a man, I'm sorry that I wasn't the man I was supposed to be at the time. I didn't know any better. I've done my best. right? But now I feel like I'm in a better position. Let me help you, you know? Let me have the kids. And the way they speak about me now, that is emotional because I'm like, fucking hell, like, they speak well to me. Because you know when girls speak bad about you to their mates, you've more than likely done something bad. We just said you're talking bad about me to your mates. So you've done something bad.
We've had it,
you know, because what they say about me now is a completely, like, they're talking about a completely different person. They applaud me now. They're like, oh, Alex, he's changed a lot. He's doing great. The kids love him. He's always got them. He's guiding them. He's teaching them. He's taking them to football. Because now it's easy because I know what I have to do. A lot of people are like, it's hard being a dad. It's fucking not. They only want your time. They just want your time. And when you become lonely, funny enough, all you have is time for the kids.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like things happen the way they're supposed to be, you know. So, yeah. You know, you made me talk. You made me get deep. Then he's like, let's talk about it. Let's get some content.
Oh wow!
It sounds like from obviously what you've said, like even in your younger years, sounds like you were quite rebellious. So
look, I've had a lot of apologising to do. All right, and it's like, yeah, it's a long phone book. But yeah, look, I've had a great childhood, man. You know, my parents used to work all the time, and I was literally talking about this the other day. Why is it that no one fucking spends time with their grandparents anymore? I was at my grandparents' house, like, it was my house. And my nan, like, bless her, I can't believe she's still alive. I was stressing her out because she had to bear with me, basically, whilst my parents were at work. So I was there. I loved her at my nan's because I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. And she'll just be like, you gotta let him express his emotions. My nan is very, very spiritual. She's very she believes in God. She's a Christian Orthodox.
Was this back in Sicily? Where did you grow up?
No, so I lived in Sicily when I was born. I was down till 4 years old, and we moved to Romania.
Okay.
When I was young, because my mum loved it there, funny enough. And obviously because of my dad, and a few years later they split up. But whilst we were there, they were working all the time. I was with my nan. And this poor woman, man, had to deal with me, but she loved me. She didn't care. She was like, just fucking leave into it. And a story that stands out. I started loving fire. Everyone gets addicted
like
to
an
something.
arsonist.
I was
Don't look behind me then.
Do you remember the lighter and the
deodorant can, flamethrowers?
I found matches, right? I found matches, and I was like, what is this? This is mind blowing. No one's taught me about this yet. Let's play with this. And I quickly learned that you can light pretty much anything. It just carries on. I'm like, this is beautiful. And we were living in the country, right? And they had a big farm. They had
this is in Romania still, yeah?
Yeah, this is in Romania. And they had like a cornfield, but it was after harvest, so the corn is like dry, right? And they like, because of obviously they had like huts for security, so they'll have like made out of dry straw and stuff. So security would sit there overnight with a dog, and I'm in there. I took my little cousin in there, and I'm like, oh, I need to show you something, bro. I was like, this is amazing. Look at what this is fire, right? Just light this up.
Literally.
Light this up, yeah. It's mad thing. Then I'm like, let me show you this. And we sit in this little hut, like dry straw, and I see like a leaf hanging down. I'm like, watch this. I light the match, and the thing lights up, and I see it expand, and I'm like, right, we need to run. And we got the thing.
You didn't even try and put it out.
Put it out, bro. It's dry. It's like, you know when something's dry, it's just like you can't put that out. I was like, I looked at that little man and I was like, we need to run. Then I'm like, we get out, but then I'm seeing because the whole field is dry, it's expanding very fast, and I'm like, run. And then as I look up on the hill, there's like, obviously this was at the bottom, then there was a hill. Then I just see people screaming like whatever, and I'm like, I look at myself.
There's you with a box of matches.
I was like, we need to run away from home. I was like,
hide the evidence.
And we run. We cross this river. Then we run into the woods. Then it was like still daytime, but as we run back, we can see people running with buckets of water, trying to put the fire out. And I sat in the woods with him, and we're looking at each other. And I was like, man, we're gonna have to live here. Like, we make a house.
This is us now.
And it started getting dark. And I looked at him, and I was like, bro, we need to go back and just face the music. And we just walked back. No one spoke a word until we got back home. We knew what was coming, you know. And all I remember is like the doors open and there's like a queue, like a corridor, but like people on each side. And it's like, I don't know, some people just there, I think, but like everyone fucking smacks us. You know, even random people from the village, like just the priest was there, fucking florist, the shopkeeper, like everyone's just there giving you licks. And just random people just hitting you, like, man, honestly, like, But you can just see them like as a fade, you know, you're like, pew, pew, like.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What were they, like full-blown licks to the face?
mate, like kicks, whatever. You just try, like, yeah, like there was, I used to do Greco-Roman wrestling when I was young. You know, and my mum used to send me to dancing, and you used to, like, I hated dancing. I was like, going fucking, right next door there was Greco-Roman wrestling, so I used to take the money from that and go next door. My mum found out I was going there. We bumped into the teacher, and he was like, "Oh, Ali's not coming dancing anymore." She said, "What the fuck? I'm paying every week for this man." And she didn't want to let me go Greco-Roman wrestling because it was dangerous, you know, mama's boy. And I was like, "Fuck this." Anyways, and there they used to have this, like, if you were late or if you didn't turn up or if you done something wrong, you'd have this thing again. You'd go through this. I can't remember what it's called, but you'd have to run through everyone that trained, and everyone would give you licks. That's literally what I remember. It's like just kind of like fading away. I'm like trying to duck. I was like, "What you said, but," and everyone's just like kicks, punches, and then that was that. Then the next day, I remember waking up and my nan was like, "You can't use fire anymore." Still had the fucking box of matches, didn't I? And I just come out of the house. And you know how you have the hanging baskets, and that was the last time I fucking played with fire. And I come out of the house, and I'm like, look at box of matches, and like. Looked at each other, it's like, "One more time, yeah? One more time." Just for all time's sakes. I like the match, don't I? And I just bring it up to the fucking... The day after, mate. Around the day, and I bring it up.
Literally playing with fire.
Just, look, lit facts. And I just put it up on this basket. This is on the house, on the main house. This fucking basket lights on fire, and I'm like... But I knew what would happen. I knew what would happen, and this, I don't know, sometimes it scares me, because I'm like, I know what's going to happen, but I want to see it happen. If you get what I mean, that's the kind of energy I have in me. I'm like, let's see it happen, and I just see that lighting up, and I'm like, fuck. So it's been. Then thankfully, my granddad was there, and he just put it out immediately with water. Then I remember getting some licks. This guy is just like a veteran, you know. He was a war veteran. You know, shit tattoos and that, like mine,
like
not finished. Yeah, stamped with needles and that, like of a woman with her tits out. Like that kind of guy. And he looked at me, he's like, "Come here." And I just got it that time. And you know, like my granddad always said to me, he's like, if you're gonna have a fight with someone, make sure you beat them up, that when they see you on the street next time, they cross the road. And that's the kind of mindset I had, and that's the beating he gave me. That next time I see my granddad, "Oh, sir, sir, how are you?" I'm fired. I'm like, use my light, the way I lose my lighter now, I'm like that when I spark a cigarette. But yeah, he kind of taught me a lesson. He kind of comes back to that. I know people are saying, "Oh, you got to be positive with kids and stuff," but like, I feel sometimes, man, we all need a good kicking and that, just to kind of understand respect and just kind of understand no means no. And that's how I stopped.
Mate, I completely agree with that. Like, you're not allowed to hit kids anymore. I don't think you should beat the shit out of a kid, right? But I think sometimes kids, especially men, they only respect fear. Like, especially boys, they need to fear to behave.
Girls, I could never put a hand on my daughter and that, but my boys and that,
I look at the cat.
But my boy and that, he goes boxing, he does these little moves on me, and I'm like, "Bro, we did, bro. Let's stop doing that. You're gonna get it, man." Do you know what I mean? But I think as a man, you do need a bit of toughness in you, because otherwise you will grow up in this world and it doesn't give a damn. And
it doesn't press stop, we're all good.
You end up as a he, she, or whatever, you know, because you don't have guidance from a man. And I'm grateful that I had my granddad there. I had most of the men in my family, they were either war veterans or they had to work in the mine. So they were men, you know, men to provide. But I think because of that as well, I'm grateful that I learned how to be tough, and I'm confident to walk by myself on the street at night, you know, with my partner, with my kid, because I'm not scared of that. But I also think that, on the other hand, they didn't teach me about money or about how to become an entrepreneur, and I had to learn that myself, you know. So there's two sides of every story, but at least I learned how to be tough and deal with business as a man.
For sure. Talking about when your entrepreneurial journey started, so did you have like a teenage phase where you started to do little hustles or anything which gave you the taste for money? Like, what was that experience for you?
As a teenager, man, I was like, I don't know.
When did you come here?
I came to the UK when I was 14, nearly 15.
Yeah, that's prime age.
Yeah, 15. And my dad wouldn't give me no money. It was fucking horrible. Like, no money. Like,
is that because you didn't have any money?
When you're 15, 16, you start getting like bit horny and that. You're like, yo, girls, what's going on? You good? Like,
You need money to get the
yeah,
girls.
so it's like you need, like, if you're horny at 15, you need money, you know? It's just like, but thankfully, the like girls at that age, men at that age, they don't really understand what money makes, you know? Like, it's not like now where I think like a 16-year-old has to fight like fucking 25-year-olds at the moment, you know, to see a girl their age. Do you understand that? You know what I'm saying? You know, a 16-year-old boy now that's broke has to fight with men that drive because that's the kind of girls at 16 go with now.
Yeah. I just remember back in my day, it was just so easy.
It was easy. We had them sitting there. I'm like, mate, what are you saying?
Do you want to come around and watch your film? Like,
15, I don't even
That's
know what to
free.
do with
That don't cost a penny.
Trust me, you had, like, and I'll bear in mind because I was born in '88, and it took a while before I had the phone and stuff. So when we had the meeting and that, it was like 5 o'clock on the dot. See you there, bro. You will rush. You will rush there. You know, you'll be there early. You'll be like, is it 5? I don't even know. I know they're coming at 5, but everyone would rush there because everyone put pressure on that meeting. Because if you didn't turn up at that time there, you lose out on whatever is to happen next. You know, now we can afford to be late because we can tell people we're going to be late.
Yeah.
I can do whatever. So what he actually does, he actually eats out of your time without realizing. Because if you're actually stuck to the time that you say you're going to be there, then I know I'm the worst for it. And I know what I'm doing. Again, as I said to you guys, I just want to see what happens. I told you guys that I'm going to be here for 11, whatever. I got here for 12:30 because I know that I can afford to do that. I was just mad. Right?
You know, MSN days are jokes. MSN used to sign in and out, so to see if someone would notice you in it. So the girl would message you.
Right, sign out, God. And I sign out, you leave, cool.
It was jokes.
But yeah, and again, he wasn't giving me money, so I had to. I was hanging around. It was one Albanian lad, one Kenyan lad. Right, we were fucking terrorists, mate. We were in college, right, and it was like we almost kind of developed like a little gang. And it was just the worst of the worst, you know. And like, I'm not a bad person, but influence can make you be whoever you want you to be.
100%,
you know?
yeah.
So then you have to kind of get yourself out of what you become to look inwards and find out again who you are, because you forget who you are by being influenced by others. And they always say your vibe, your tribe is your vibe, and so on, and that's true. And lack of goods, lack of money, lack of having anything that can accomplish your desires can turn you into a bad person, especially as a man. You know, if you want girls, you want cars, and we live in a world now where you see all of this on social media. Everyone's like driving fucking Bugattis, Ferraris, birds everywhere. As a broke boy, that will make you a bad man, because you will do whatever it takes to achieve that. Lie, steal, scam, whatever it takes. You know, so influence sometimes is not positive. You know, like I said, do not confuse influence with inspiration. Look for inspiration, not influence.
Did you ever have like a pivotal turn when you were going through that stage of your life? What made you think, all right, cool, now this life ain't for me, I want to get out, I want to focus on, you know, entrepreneurship, and what was that for you?
It was like Christmas 2015, and you know when you know shit's going bad and it's going worse and worse and worse, and you're like, you gotta remain positive, things will go well. But I think everyone has that moment when you're just gonna hit rock bottom. And I remember I was sleeping. I had a room with two of my mates, and then none of us could pay the rent there, so we had to go and get another house in a council estate at this point to pay rent to someone that was actually had a house from the council estate, proper dodgy shit. And both of these two had rooms. I had to sleep downstairs on a fucking fold-up bed. Yeah. And I remember sat there, and it was getting to Christmas Eve. I already had 2 kids at this point, and I was watching Star Trek. So I was like, "Fucking, I've never watched this. Life is shit. Let's watch Star Trek." I can't believe I even ended up watching it. I've never seen it. If any of you like it,
I'm not into it.
I'm sorry, but what a shit. Fucking, like, this is how bad life got. And I was sitting there, man. Jordan, I'm sorry if you like Star Trek, bud. Do you like Star Trek? No, not Star Trek. Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Neither.
Yeah. So yeah, life got really bad, as you can imagine. And I'm sat there, and I'm like nearly crying, mate. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do I do now, basically? I was like, what? I watch all 3 parts of this. What's next? And it was Christmas Eve. And it was sad, man. Like, it was painful. And I just closed my eyes and I was like, you know what? I can't, like, it's not over. It can't be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm in control of what happens next. It's either that or I just watched the end of the season, whatever the fuck it was. And I got up, it was next day, it's Christmas Day, I started looking for work. It's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, it's Christmas Day. I was like, fuck Christmas, fuck New Year's Eve. I was like, I need work, I need to get work, I need to... And from there, I think my next job was recruitment in medical recruitment. Fucking talked my way through that, got in there, smashed it.
Good place to start.
Yeah.
What a shit job. What a shit job. Slavery, mate. Modern day slavery. I'm selling people. Fuck that. That's this. Like, I've got integrity. I've got morals, values, virtue. Selling people. You're literally picking up nurses. You were getting money from a hospital, and you're taking a margin from that to make yourself money, and then you're cutting down the fee for that nurse to go in there and break her back for a fraction of what you're getting paid. So you're literally moving people around and you're selling people to go there. You don't fucking care who's going on. There were people that were taking nurses with no qualifications, fake CVs, banging them on in hospitals. Bro, that is not normal. Good money, but that's not... Anyways, I just didn't like the culture there. I was like, this is just fucked. I was like, this is not for me. Moving on. I took a lot of leads from there, went on to another recruitment where they didn't give a shit what you were doing. Literally, I was like, this is sick. And that within that time, I've opened the Food Plug, which was a restaurant / takeaway in Northampton. Daily Mail done me dirty on that one. Put a picture of saying former takeaway worker. I was like, motherfucker. I was like, fair play. Good clickbait, but yeah, and went there and I was doing that whilst working, do you know what I mean? So I was like, and I was calling them, I was like, guys, I was like, my business, man, I need to go into there. Now my staff is ill and down. They're like, yeah, that's fine, no worry. So I was in the perfect job because they didn't give a shit. They didn't give a shit because I already had contacts from before, so I just placed them in work. So I was making money. So they didn't care if I was in the office or not. So I was kind of going in between. Then that little pipeline died there, and they're like, right, we need you in the office more. And I was like, I looked at them, I was like, bro, I don't even want to be in here. I was like, I want to go and fucking cook. And they looked at me and it was like, oh no. I was like, no, I just want to go. And I just went. Then as I left, I realised I was like, I didn't even fucking talk about my commission and that. So I had like 2-3 grand of commission. And I rang them and I was like,
you know, the place ain't paying you.
You quit. He's like, you should have called me and handed the proper notice in, finished your notice. So this is how I was learning shit. Do you know what I mean? I was learning. Now I know what to do. I'm like, right. Don't get when you're pissed off, just save yourself an hour or two before you even breathe, before you even have the conversation.
It cost you a few grand, that decision, right?
Yeah, it did. And then I went into that. Then I got rid of the staff and I was just working there myself. Then I got staff. Then I got an investment, and that's when it all kicked off. And it was like fucking guys like Charlie Sloth, footballers. I was contracted to do the food for the Saints rugby team, and yeah, I was living the life. Then lockdown hit. I was like, motherfucker. And my business partner, he was nuts as well. We looked at each other, it was like, takeaway. It's like,
was it not takeaway before that?
Looking at the laws, he was like, what's the law? What, can you operate during lockdown? Yeah, you can. I was like, right, takeaway. Yeah. M1, no one on the road because the lockdown's on. I'm like, worker. What were the workers?
Key worker.
Yeah, key workers,
the big man. I was like, get my way. Next thing, we had like 12 people working in there. Takeaway was booming. Had like 6 delivery drivers. It was like, man, we were like, it was printing money. It was like... Then that was fun. Then I realised, like, bro, I'm working 16-hour days, Monday to Sunday. I was like, I don't want to do this. So I was like, I do not want to do this. I don't care how much money you're giving me. And I started getting ill from stress, from like not sleeping, not eating. I'm a smoker. I couldn't even smoke because you're constant in the kitchen, arguing, stress with everyone, throwing fucking pans. So was you cooking then? You weren't even... Yeah, I was the cook. Oh, wow. I was the cook. Great skill to have, man, I say. But yeah, and then... opportunity came to get into real estate, and I look back when I was about 20, and it was one of the sales jobs that I wanted to do. I was thinking, an estate agent is a respectful job. I'd love to do that, be in a suit, drive around a little fucking company car.
Smart car or something.
Yeah, man, to me that was a goal. I was like, and I went there, done 2 interviews, and they're like, nah, you don't have enough experience, and they kind of killed my vibe. And yeah, just kind of look back at that now, and now I'm like, fuck your smart car. I'll do this my way, you know. Yeah.
Estate agency has a bit of a bad rep as a job.
I didn't know that until I got into it.
Have you Googled it?
Have you seen it? We was doing it earlier.
Just on this,
Yeah.
I've got this up, right? And the reason I know this is because I used to be a recruiter who also have terrible fucking reputations. Right?
Yeah.
And if you type in estate agents are on Google, it says estate agents are the worst. Estate agents are liars. Estate agents are scum.
But I didn't know this. I came in here and I was like, yo, what'd you do? I
That's
work in
respectful.
real estate, big man, yeah? What'd you do? I was like, oh, all right, then I thought like it's a respectful job. Then I came in here and I'm like, right, something needs to fucking change here. Like, something needs to change. And I think because of that, everything that you now see is where I'll just literally say what I have to say and how I want to say it. And everyone's like, you know what? Fair play to that guy.
Yeah.
100%.
And
Yeah.
I think because of that, the personal brand grew. And I think most people's personal brands don't grow is because they're trying to conform to the system and just do what everyone wants to hear. And I think, like, I don't want to fucking please everyone. I want to just please the ones that want to work for me, because I'd rather work with someone that works with me for who I am rather than working with someone that works with me because I've lied. You know?
Talking about this as well. So this is traditional estate agencies, right, that have got the bad reputation. But what you're doing, it's more like the new generation of estate agencies, right?
Look,
You don't even call yourself an estate agent, right?
I came up with a genius title earlier, and I was like, I edited all my posters this morning. So obviously, with everything that's happening in the market and how high street estate agencies are, I was like, is this the extinction of dinosaur estate agents? Genius, right? Kind of is, right? And I planned it correctly. I planned it very well. We launched in a very difficult time. We've launched Crest in a very difficult time. And it fucking happened exactly how I said it would happen. And to me, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was like, finally, once in my life, I predicted what's going to happen in a financial market. And that, to me, is like an achievement in itself.
Of course. Talking about the current property market, it's interesting right now, isn't it? Because I've seen that certain property prices are going down slightly. How is that affecting your industry right now? Is it harder to sell? Is it still fine?
I work in a different market. I work in a higher value market.
Yeah.
Where people have money. Right? Yes, there's not as many buyers as there were 2 years ago, where everyone was throwing money left, right, and centre, especially through mortgages. So what that means is that most people now move because of circumstances, a change of circumstance, whether it's upsizing, downsizing, a new baby, a new wife. So that's the main buyers now. Because we work with a centralized network of national and international buyers, we have access to a large network of international buyers. We work with some very influential, which are also back in Crest, so right, influential families. I'm not going to say the names, but guys, if you're listening, thank you very much. We're working with a very huge company in London that are backing us, and a very huge company in Dubai that are backing us, funny enough, even though I stand against Dubai and how the market is like there, and I'm not looking to go there anytime soon. These guys are backing us because they like what we do, they like the model, they like where we're going, they fucking like me, ultimately. And they believe in me, which makes me believe in myself even more. And these are very influential people that have the network that we need. Okay, so they manage family funds, right? Meaning that we can now pick up projects, exclusive projects. We only work exclusively with properties. I don't work with multi-agencies, fucking joint agencies, only exclusively, only with properties above 1 million. I'm the only agent on that property. And yeah, so because we've created a niche, because we deal with things ourselves in-house, everything's in-house. The marketing, everything is through us. Anyone that we work with, we bring them on. And because of that, we don't see the same effect as everyone else, unfortunately. And we don't have the high overheads. The only cost we have is just paying for the certain platforms. But the return is a lot bigger.
Yeah, of course. I said this earlier, I think it's a fucking brilliant idea about commission-only salespeople as well. How do you find trying to find commission-only salespeople that are good? Do you look for already existing top performers?
Look for entrepreneurs, no.
Entrepreneurs.
I personally, I think estate agents will be terrible at this job. Yeah. Because most estate agents are used to just sitting in an office and used to Marvin and Gavin to come in and say, oh, I've got a property for sale on Mayfair, you know. You guys are great. I heard your company is great. And because of that, I think when you put them in this environment, when they have to go and knock on someone's door and ask for the business,
They'll be hunters, right?
Yeah.
It's more personality.
Yeah. Remember, what I do is entrepreneurship. We do business, right? We're not estate agents. We don't have to report back to our manager. So I think when you look at it from that perspective, I think without the right support and a stage, it will not last a week in it. And I've seen it happen multiple times. Multiple times. I've seen managers come from branches, give it a stacks and just kind of lasted about 1 month or two. You know, I've seen people sleeping in their car. So I've seen failures. I've seen a lot of failures. Again, all of that comes from support.
Yeah, on that as well. So commission-only roles are very cutthroat. Like, what percentage of people would you say don't make it?
Honestly, I'd say if out of 100 people, I'd say probably only 20% of them actually make something out of it. 10% of them will get a sell or two, and the rest are gonna like slowly die out. Because what happens, unless you're an entrepreneur, unless you have that mindset of an entrepreneur, unless you have that not giving up mindset, most people will crumble every time they get a no.
Yeah.
You know, every time something goes wrong. Well, a lot of us don't know how to deal with stress or mental fucking health, mental this, mental that, and the problems at home. I can't pay my bills, and they use all of the excuses they possibly can to just give up on something.
Yeah,
of course. And they're going to do that for the rest of their life on everything. They're going to do that on their partner. They're going to do that on their kids. They're going to do that on themselves. They've already done it on themselves.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think entrepreneurship, you have to be bulletproof. Like mentally, you know, you have to be.
It's like, right, this one didn't work, next one. It's like, cool, what ideas have I got, you know? It's kind of like, it's just keeping it moving. And I suppose you're never going to master it. It's just going to be trial and error. But
Find ways to adapt, even like just different industries. Like, I'm sure you could take your skills and move it across to something else.
This is my industry. I know this. I found mine, and
Yeah.
I found my fucking stage. I'm like, right, I want to be the Drake of this industry. Yeah. That's in my. I don't even like Drake, but I like who he is.
Yeah, cool.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to be the Drake of real estate. I want to come in, and when I walk into a restaurant, I want it to make me a table. I'll fucking other people's tables. I don't care. Just do that. Can you move, please? Like, this guy's in. I need your table. Cheers, bye. That's like, that's what I want.
Before we do wrap up, it's always interesting to just ask a guest, you know, in terms of advice that you might give to somebody who's trying to better themselves, right? Who wants to become a better version of themselves. You know, like, what advice would you give to them if they don't really know what to look at?
Watch Star Wars.
Be patient.
On Christmas Eve.
That was a good one. Watch Star Wars.
Watch Star Wars.
In order.
Yeah, all of them.
Right, we're in order.
On Christmas
Turn
Eve.
your life around.
If that will not change your life, do you know what? But all jokes aside, is I don't have any advice. It's like, be patient. It will happen for you as it needs to happen. You know, I can't sit and be like, you need to do this, because I don't know what's happened to me realistically. It's a decision. I made a decision a long time ago, but I think my best advice to you is be patient. Also, another good piece of advice that I can give you is, if you are in work right now and you're listening to this and you feel like you've had a lot of jobs and you feel like you can't find your place in any of these jobs because you feel like things can be done better and you've got great ideas and you can't explore and you're not allowed to explore these ideas, you are more than likely a fucking entrepreneur at heart, and you need to explore entrepreneurship.
Amazing. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming through, Alex.
Guys, thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Good, man.
That was a fucking good one. That was a big one, guys. Pleasure.